Hello people, and today I'm going to be talking about simulators for Scratch. So if Scratch has worked, then everything should be fine. If it's not, then that's why it's going to be annoying. But anyway, simulators work off two main things. They work off many sprites all working together, and they also work on variables telling each other what to do and how they should act. That's the main features of a simulator. So for example, if we wanted to create so let's create a variable, and let's make a variable and we're going to call it funds, and it's going to be for all sprites. So we have the variable funds. Now when the flag clicked, we want the funds to set funds to 1,000. So 1,000. So you get a starting amount of 1,000, and that's very simple. There's not much to that. So we have it set to 1,000. Funds set to 1,000. So whenever I start the game, it will set to 1,000. If I let's just add something. Let's just quickly do this. So this won't be part of the game. It's just like an example. So say I bought something in here, and I kept buying it, and my funds were at 450. If I wanted to restart the game, it would reset to 1,000. So you have funds. Now what you need is some way to add them, some way to earn funds. So sometimes you just get that, and it could be like a tax, the public pays you, things like that, things that were in my politics simulator. Or it could be something that earns you money when you get it. For now, we're just gonna have a tax, so we're gonna want to call it tax. So this is explained to it again. So here we have our little variable called tax. Now we're gonna want one flag clicked forever, and we're gonna want to set the interval of time for when we get the tax money. So every 35 seconds you get some tax money, and we change tax by not 1, but we're going to create another variable called tax level. Now this variable called tax level is you're going to want to stick it somewhere like here, and you want to have it as a slider. The slider will go from 1 to 100. So you'll notice that when so the tax will change by the tax level. Now what we're going to want is we're going to want to what was I going to say? Yeah, so we're going to want to basically find a way. So how this works, so every 35 seconds we will get money in this tax, and we'll get whatever tax level I have specified down here. And then this will go into the tax deposit, but the funds will remain 1,000. And the reason for that is it allows for you to pile up money in your tax fund and have it as a saving. So like you could implement some kind of interest scheme where if you have money in your tax and you don't get it, you see that it just went up, then what could happen is you could allow it to give you extra money for the more money you have in the tax fund, and it could work and it could give you interest. So anyway, so tax level was 73, so it gave me 73 tax money. Now I'm going to want to find a way to collect the tax. So for that we're going to want to create a new sprite, and we're going to go to collect tax. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a white background like this, and we're going to want to stick it on. There's a perfectly good reason for this. I'll explain it in a sec. Well, I'll explain it now. So basically, when you create text, it has a hitbox, so that when it's a button, you have to hit the actual text. But if you stick the text, oh god, oops. If you stick the text on a white box, then that white box is considered. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry for that. So that white box is actually considered part of it. So that it's easier in general just to hit the collect tag, so you don't have to directly hover over it. You just have to click in that general area, and it will collect the tag. So, what happens when we collect the tag? So, when green flag collects forever, if, and we're going to want if tax level is bigger than 0, and no, we're going to want so we're going to want the AND function, and we're going to want mouse down and touching mouse pointer. So then what will happen is that will be activated. So whenever I do that, it will sense it. So then if that happens, we need a way to tell that to take away the funds, to take away the amount of tax in the machine and in the tax fund, and to put it into the funds, but also make the tax fund 0. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to need a few commands. So one of the main ones is I need to work out how to do this quickly. Okay, so one of the first ones is we're going to want to change funds by tax. So we're going to want to change the funds by tax. That's the first one. Then we're going to want to set funds to set tax to 0. Now I think that should be the main two things. If we start it, then we get that it sets to 0. Everyone's happy. So this is actually all the code needed, and this is it to create a working tax system where you can change how much you want. And that's it. It's not a lot. It's barely anything actually. So that, yeah, this is the start of the actual. It's hard to explain. This is the start of I completely lost my train of thought here. This is the start of making a simulator. So now I'm just going to add a little bit where you know you're hovering over it, because it's going to change the costume. Oops. That went wrong. So we're going to want to copy, edit, costume for costume 2. We're going to want to make the text a bit grayer. And what we're going to do is if control if forever, and then if touching mouse pointer, if we're going to want an if else statement, if touching mouse pointer. If it's touching mouse pointer, then we're going to want costume 1. So we're going to want to go to the looks, switch to costume. We're going to switch to costume 2, then switch to costume 1. You could use 2 if statements, but this is just more compact. So you notice that when I'm over it, it turns grey, so you know that you're hovering over it. So thank you very much for watching. If you would like a more in-depth tutorial, or even a completely fully fledged simulator game and for me to do a tutorial on it, then post in the comments. If you don't mind, then I'd greatly appreciate you leaving a rating, a like, or a dislike. I just want some feedback. Tell me how I did in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.